Am I live? Hey, I didn't mean to be on camera yet. Meant to put the intro on here. So, where's my intro? There it is. So let's go to that intro right now. There we go. Okay, so welcome to unscheduled midweek live stream here. So I've been doing mostly on Saturdays and Sundays, but today I wanted to get on here because I had some time and get you guys a little update on what's going on with me. And to that one commenter that feels like it used to be a film channel, now all he does is talk about crap. Well, you know what? You're more than welcome to never watch my channel ever again. I would encourage it. In fact, if you have a problem with these live streams, then I encourage you to never ever turn on my channel and save yourself the trouble. Don't ever watch my stuff. Just don't. It makes it a lot easier, a lot less painful. So, bearing the lead. So last week I streamed and I was really like deep down depressed about my mom's situation, but I was able to find a residential home for her. It was a choice between here and a place that was like 30-minute drive, which is a little bit cheaper. Not a little bit, quite a bit cheaper. About half the cost would have been the place. It's about a 30-minute drive from me. But I figured in the end it was better to keep her in the hometown, pay quite a bit more money, but get her into some residential care so that I can go back to living a life and being able to do some stuff, including Filmmaker IQ, which I think I've been on a lot of streams. The streams for a long time have been the only thing I could do. I mean, I could sit at home and write scripts, and I can come up with ideas for stuff. I have some scripts written. I have a whole script written on about the frame rate of the human eye. I have not shot it yet because every time I wanted to shoot it, I was dealing with some other family emergency. So, and that was killing me because in many respects, I don't take you guys for granted. And I'm seeing your guys' chat here. I do not take you guys for granted. I don't take the fact that I have an audience for granted because it's the thing. Having an audience is the separation between just making home videos and making stuff for you guys. That's the whole point. So I was feeling terrible about losing, not having the audience. Anyhow, so it's been driving me nuts. So I'm glad I put her into this residential care facility. If you don't know what residential care facility is, so you guys are familiar with what a nursing home is. A nursing home is like a large facility that's got multiple, like maybe 30, 40 beds, and they've got nurses that work there, and then they take care of things, right? So that's residential care is different. It's people basically they buy a house that has like 5 bedrooms or 6 bedrooms, and then they live there, and then they take care of they rent them out to like seniors who need care. So it may not be as much nursing. Oftentimes they are run by nurses, but it's not the big giant nursing home. It's a small community of just like 5 or 6 seniors that live there. So that's where she is now. And when I put her there, she was having a bout of pneumonia. She was not talking. She couldn't barely walk anymore. Last time I saw her yesterday, and I'll go see her again today. And they're really friendly because they're a bunch of Filipino women and their son, which is about my age. So it's like I feel like that was culturally a very good place for her because she was right there with them. So I'm seeing Germany. Anyhow, so I'm just responding to the chat here. So last time I saw her yesterday, she was better spirits. She actually even asked one of the ladies if she was Chinese. She's not Chinese, she's Filipina. She's a quarter Chinese, so. But she's a little bit better space, and I'm a little bit better headspace because I can, like today, I would usually sit at home and work. I would help her out and get her to the bathroom and do all this stuff until about, today's Wednesday, I would have been there till about 12 o'clock or so and doing nothing. I might try to find ways to get work done by, working on some scripts or something, but I was kind of locked at home until about 12. Then I could get away for a little bit, grab some lunch and take care of some business and be home about 6 or 7. I couldn't get home too late. And I tend to work really late. I used, when it was Filmmaker IQ used to do more of a blog, I would work that for like 12 hours a day. It was insane how much I worked. And it developed me a very big hatred for the film blogosphere. We can talk about that too, because I'm a little more normal experience. But now I can, I'm here at the office and I say, well, I was going to meet my friend for lunch, but he's not feeling good. So I was like, what can I do let's stream. Let's do some streaming because I don't have a lot of other work I need to do. This week's kind of light for me. But I'm rendering some project because I accidentally deleted an audio track on a video I was supposed to deliver. So it's rendering, and I can't touch that computer for about an hour and a half. So, anyhow, so that's the situation. Moving forward, I've got some plans of tackling some things I want to do with Filmmaker IQ. And one of the things I want to do is, when you guys can help me out here, is I'm looking to, I thought it was really good when I did those online critiques of your work. And I would go through it scene by scene, shot by shot, edit by edit, and talk about every little detail that I see, not necessarily in a critical way, but more as like, let's examine this material and see what we can do better or what we can learn. Sometimes you did something amazingly cool, and it's like, I want to steal that idea from you and use it for my own project. So I haven't done those in a while because it's a little bit of a setup to do it live, but I want to do it in a video form so that they're just a self-contained video where I just critique a work that you guys submit. Now, let's try to keep that work down to like maybe 5 minutes at the max. I would love to see if you guys, I'll put it out on Twitter and I'll put it out on YouTube, that a call for any submissions that anybody wants me to see. And, I just need to start with a couple. And I think once they start doing a couple, people will get the message and it'll roll down. So if you do have a project that you want me to critique, go ahead and go to filmmakeriq.com and type in, or just go to contact and send me a link, and I'll do a video critique of whatever. It doesn't have to be a film. It can be a commercial. It can be a student project. It can be anything you want, and I will work whatever level you want, because I'm not, I teach this stuff now professionally. I actually get paid to teach it, so yay for me. So it's not like it's a bad thing. You won't cry from this critique. I think this is one of those, you will definitely get something out of that critique. Okay. So that's one thing I want to do. I got some film stuff that I wanted to do. I really enjoyed doing these acting reels. I've got 3 scripts written that I want to do table read. So I definitely want to put that into the mix here. And some history, science stuff, and maybe some rants, because I keep promising people that I want to do my rant about how what you call it, how vertical video. Filmmaker Q, have you commented on the coincidence of white noise in Palestine, Ohio? No, I haven't. So I have some thoughts on that are, first of all, the movie White Noise. No one's commented on this, at least not that I've seen. I've seen a little bit of comment on it. But yes, they did shoot a lot of it. The movie takes place in Pennsylvania, not Ohio. And in the movie, obviously the truck hits the train track, and the truck causes the explosion. And I believe in Ohio they actually set that thing ablaze on purpose, because they thought, well, it's better that we burn it and put it in the air than it would be if we put it on the let it seep into the groundwater. And, that might be. But the thing I also want to bring up with White Noise is that it is based on a book. And the book was written in the 80s. And the book does feature the unspecified error incident, or whatever they call it. So it is. I mean, in that book was actually based the idea for the ecological disaster, the not natural, but I guess ecological disaster that it was based actually on the chemical spills that happened in India in the 80s, right? And those are pretty nasty stuff. If you look at the history of like the disasters of in India regarding chemical spills, like it is some seriously seriously bad stuff. So that's what that book was referencing, the Indian disasters. So obviously it's a coincidence. It sucks, and we don't know why exactly. There are people trying to jump on the political bandwagon, saying that there was a law that required certain types of brakes on the trains that would have maybe prevented the accident. But then the other people are saying, well, no, this wouldn't have changed anything. I don't know. It's going to be a long time to get to the bottom of this. But it is a nasty, nasty accident, and there's no question about it. It's just like and there's speculation about whether there is also sabotage, because hey, you know what else? How else are you going to cripple the United States by like causing these infrastructure accidents? It's almost like we got to get a little more serious about what matters and less about what Twitter battles are going on and what pronouns people want to use. We got to get serious about the reality of being in this world and not being so much of not complaining about, I'm a they, them. Sorry, I'm just going to be blunt today. I think a lot of discourse online is just stupid. And we need to be serious about real life stuff. Anyhow. I saw some earlier questions about... So this bugs me. Please, for the love of God, do not spell it copyright with a W-R-I-T. That's literally how you prove to me you have no idea what you're talking about when you spell copyright with a W-R-I-T. Copyright W-R-I-T-E is what Don Draper does. It is not what the terminology copyright, C-O-P-Y-R-I-G-H-T, because copy, it's a right to copy, not a writing of copy. It is a right, like natural rights, right to copy, not copywriting. That's no. Do not make that mistake. It's a fundamental mistake. If you make that mistake, you are going down the route of never understanding what copyright means. So the question is, how does AI occur with copyright? And the answer is the courts have not figured that out yet. But if we were to go strictly based on the previous history of how copyright works in terms of machine derived things, basically whoever tells the machine to do it owns the copyright. So if I came up with a prompt and I told the machine, here's my prompt, make an output, I own the copyright because I told the machine what to do. The machine did not just make it by itself. It had to be directed toward that. The same way that a photo camera, and you can make this argument too, that a photo camera, who owns the copyright of a photograph? Well, I pointed the camera at something and I pushed the button. Therefore, I'm directing the machine to do a task, to create a something, and that now I own that copyright. Which comes back to the whole thing with the monkey selfie, when the monkey took his own picture. Who owns the copyright to that? And the courts, I think, ultimately decided that whoever owned the camera, because animals don't have copyright status. Animals do not have that protection under the law. Now, you might be saying, well, that doesn't make any sense, John. Well, I'm explaining to you basically what the course of copyright law has been in the past. Will it change? Yes, absolutely. It's absolutely going to have to change, because the reality is it's going to have to change. The question is, are all those works, how derivative are the works that the machine uses as a base to draw from? If you type in look, anybody anywhere can make a in the style of Thomas Kincaid, right? If you went out there and you painted something in the style of Thomas Kincaid cannot sue you because you stole his style. That's not the way copyright works. Copyright works is based on expression, absolute expression. So, Thomas Kincaid's paintings, I'm using Thomas Kincaid because he's still alive, I think, right? I think he is alive. But Thomas Kincaid makes a painting, that copy of that painting he owns the right to. He doesn't own the style to that, right? Anybody can make a Thomas Kincaid style painting. That's fine. Anybody can make a movie in the style of Quentin Tarantino. That's fine. But you can't lift like the entire Pulp Fiction and just copy that, straight copy, and make that. So anyhow, so that's what remains to be seen as far as AI and copyright. I have some thoughts on it. Machiavelli's Underbelly is a Twitter follower that I follow. I see a lot because Scott Adams refers to him a lot, and I see some other people refer to him. And he's kind of on this bent that he's almost like trolling people with the level of AI, thinking that AI's amazing and it's going to be taken over. I don't think it will, because I feel like AI, and this could be famous last words territory, and I could be taking the L. I love on Twitter if you take any controversial opinion, it's like, take the L, dude, take the L. Okay, if take the L means I'm having a controversial opinion, then I guess I take the L. All right, but I think AI may have hit its peak. I feel like we're so used to technology growing either straight up, linear, or exponential. But have we peaked? Have we plateaued with AI? I don't know. Like, I think AI is getting better. So anyways, he put out this video of Elizabeth Warren, AI deep fake of AI. And the thing with AI video deep fakes is they always do this very weird like head movement thing. That's all they do. And it's always like this. Hi, my name is John Hess. I am here to tell you about a new AI learning thing. And it always looks very like zombie motion. And if you're looking at it on a phone, like at arm's length, and you're not paying attention to it, then you can maybe it might be passable. But as soon as you pay any bit of attention to it, you're like, that's not right. That doesn't look right. Anyhow, he made a video of Elizabeth Warren basically saying that all Republicans should not vote because that would be a or election fraud. If any Republicans voted in the election, that'd be considered election fraud. Obviously fake, and obviously meant to be sort of a not tease, but sort of let's stir the pot kind of a video, right? And so, but it rubbed me the wrong way. It's like, ugh. You're purposely spitting out this stuff. It's sort of like the worst thing you can do in politics is to make fake videos like that. But he's like, in response to people saying like, it doesn't look real, he's like, give it 3 months, give it 5 months. I don't think 5 months is going to do it, because I don't think I don't think AI solves that problem, because I don't think AI would know how to solve it. Uncanny valley with AI. Yeah, I think like I was very impressed sometimes with AI, because I got that automatic 111, 1111 put into Photoshop, and I was doing a lot of like photos with trying to do like models. I was just playing around, seeing, get some nice pretty pictures of girls, and I put them up online. AI can handle a certain kind of pose, but if you had them doing like a lounging pose, oh, it is bad. It is very, very bad. Very, very bad. So yeah, as far as AI, now I wanted to do a video, and maybe I'll put that on my list of things to look at. I wanted to take one of those AI script writing tools and just spit out like a script for me to do, and just shoot it. Why not? Just shoot an AI. Hey, Nate Doller, how you doing? Just shoot an AI invented script and just see how it goes. The thing is, though, I feel like we have been fooled by the I in AI. It's not intelligent. It's a predictive model, It literally just And Graham is saying here, AI machines followed rules. It moves to move it further, in a larger database, 2 times improvement needs 4 times increase in size of the database, particularly square of the improvement. Maybe that might be an interesting point there. I just don't think. I think it's going to become to the point where it's, AI might be useful as a starter, as like a seed, to establish a seed, and then you go and you edit and you make it your own kind of thing. And that might be a perfectly fine use for it. Like AI will just kind of generate kind of a random seed, and then you go in and then you make it your own and you tweak it, and because they say all writing is rewriting, right? Well, if rewriting is so important, then it doesn't matter if you start with an AI seed. If you're just constantly rewriting, eventually you imbue it your own your own style and thoughts. It's not Saturday, J-Man. Yeah, I know. I had some time today. I figured I'd come on here. We'll stream again on the weekend, but I figured I'd come on here and tell you guys what was going on. So if you missed it, you can go back and watch what was going on. But things are better. Things are getting better. I just wanted to chat with you guys and see what was going on. Chat won't leave out adjectives, adverbs, abstractions, and writing when you ask it. It seems hard time to not rhyming. It's poetry. That's the thing. We got to remember, it's not intelligent. We fool ourselves into thinking it's intelligent, but it's not. And I think we're also hitting a point where we are plateauing with the technology. I know that's going to be, I said that might be my famous last words thing, right? And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Then we're all doomed to the AI. But I don't think we are. It's one of those things where the more and more you dive in it, the more and more you realize how unhuman it is. And it's not so human. My batteries are. I'm charging some batteries. I'm thinking about going to flying a little bit today. Do some first person flying, because this week is sort of my recovery week. I was such a bad state on the weekend. Such a bad state. Like, it was really bad. So, but I feel like I'm coming out of it. I think I'm happy my mom's she's in a better environment, I think, than what I could provide. So it's going to cost a lot of money. Taking all my inheritance and just putting it all there, but we'll see how it goes. Anyhow, all my batteries are full. Yeah, they're really, really telling me. So I've got a little FPV. I've got 2 FPV drones. I was going to take the bigger one out because I haven't flown that in a while. I got to find my GoPros. I don't know where my GoPros are, so I got to dig those up. See how they're doing. All right. Anything else you guys want to chat about? So yeah, reminder, if you guys have some videos you want me to do a critique on, I will definitely. All I need is one right now. So send it to me. Send it your way. Let's go back and see if we catch some. Yep, there we go. Reminds me of a story about Phil Tippett, who was on Seeing the CGI Dinosaurs, said, "Well, there's I'm out of a job. The same will be true for CGI artists going forward, in the next few years." I don't think so. Because, yeah, Phil Tippett's maybe maybe he's out of a job as far as a stop motion animator for dinosaurs. But have you seen the credits on these movies? How many people are involved with making the CGI? There's a lot more CGI artists working today than there were stop motion artists back in the day. So I think, and the other thing also, I do work for certain clients. Do you think any of my clients have the ability to operate AI programs and install automatic 1111 in Photoshop, start up the servers and get them going? I don't think so. So I'm going to be the one that's going to be. It's up to the artist to manhandle, fuse the sexist terminology, to human handle the technology. Like, the artists will be the ones that are in the driver's seat of the technology. I don't think the layman will be operating these AI programs so much as the craftsmen are. Oh, thank God. Derek Lufkin said, "Saw Babylon, bloated movie. How production changed from silent to sound was interesting." Babylon's not a good example of how sound or went silent from the sound. Sound of music is better, but Sound of Music is also anachronistic in many ways. But Babylon is the worst movie. Like I was just rewatching a little bit of that. There's that scene where she's they're trying to capture sound, and it's like they can't get her. They can't hear like her if she's off mic. Like if I'm on mic here. This is a modern microphone, right? I'm on mic. You can hear me. If I go off mic like this far, you can't hear me so well, right? If I'm way over here, you can barely hear me. Okay, so the microphones obviously have there's a proximity issue with microphones, right? Cool. Then how can this guy hear like a little tap on a pin or something on some guy's shoe who's 40 feet off axis? It doesn't make any sense. It's just never mind. And I get people like, oh, that's a brilliant scene. No, it's a frustrating scene because it doesn't make any fucking sense. Sorry for the cussing. Neil Bohr says, it's often quoted as saying, having said, it's very difficult to make predictions, especially about the future. I like this law that I heard. I forget who came up with it, but we overestimate the impact the technology has on the short term. We overestimate it. So we're overestimating what AI can do for us in the short term. Absolutely overestimating it. However, we often tend to underestimate the effect in the long term. And by underestimate, I mean we don't know how to predict it. So I don't know what the 20-year effect of AI, this so-called predictive machine learning that we're playing with nowadays. I don't know what that looks like in 20 years. I have no clue. I think to say it's all doom and gloom is probably not quite appropriate because I just don't see that happening. It's kind of funny because there's a lot of talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp, right? The Quantumania. I see some people were saying Ant-Man. I saw the Ant-Man movie, and a lot of the critics I watch are all very down on it. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is what AI will produce, if because there's not that seed of originality. I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but it feels to me like it's just manufactured. It feels and it sounds like it's just Hollywood churning out content. That's what it is. So I people saying, "Oh, AI is going to take over. AI is going to take over." If your idea of taking over is more just ho hum, mildly amusing movies, then maybe that's what you're going to get. Truth mystery. It's not getting worse. It's that there are little turnaround times to do CGI in the first place, so it's rushed. You're right, and it's like I said, something like Disney, who's I think maybe Iger is trying to do this, but I think he's trying to pull back a little bit on the Marvel stuff because Marvel's becoming sort of just a churn out, process. Sorry, I still have that cough a little bit. But, maybe it's also kind of a realization that in many ways it's sort of going back to the old studio days of I talk about how the golden age of Hollywood, which was the studio era that lasted between the 30s and 48, I think is the last year they classify as the golden era of Hollywood. But the golden era of Hollywood resembles very much the way Disney Marvel looks like now. It's literally we have a way to just make money left over right. We have no competition, and we're just going to churn out movies every week. Every week a new movie has to come out and just churn. And it doesn't matter how good they are as long as they just keep pushing out the content, right? And in many ways, television was that way for a vast majority of the time. Television was considered crap because boob tube, right? Because it just had to fill 8 hours of broadcasting time every day. You had to just fill. They could cut corners and kind of be cheap on it. There wasn't any time to make anything. So television for a long time was just that factory churn, content churn. So, Hardcore Motors, what's up? Yep. So, technology is going to change. You never know how much exactly. I think it's silly to think that, and the other thing I want to combat too is when we talk about technology changing, there's always two players, or there's more than one player, right? So if technology changes, like Phil Tippett, like you talk about Phil Tippett saying, "I'm out of a job" after he saw the CGI dinosaurs. But is Phil Tippett out of a job, or did he change? Did he react to the marketplace? So if we bring in AI and technology into the mix, how is everyone going to react and change with it? We always just assume AI comes in, okay, everyone's done, everyone's dead. We always look at technology and growth as a one step, when it really should be thought as one step reaction. If we really want to get down, if I'm going to cause some trouble, I would say that's a Marxist dialectic, right? A thesis and an antithesis. So whenever there's a movement in technology, that's your thesis. There's the antithesis. There's how are the artists going to respond to that? And between that reaction, that they call it, in story writing, we call that idea sex. But if in history, call that a Marxist dialectic, or if you want to go a Hegelian whatever dialectic, right? You result in a synthesis. A new thing emerges from that, and that new thing also has an anti-new thing, and they fight, and the new thing comes from that. We forget that, so we think AI is going to take over. Everyone's out of a job. Well, no, because somebody has to learn how to use the AI, and then there's branches of how the AI is going to work. Anyhow, you get the point. So we don't think too simply as far as technology and AI. What's your pick for Best Picture? Mine is, I think if the Oscars have any kind of justice, Everything Everywhere All at Once should just win everything. Everything Everywhere All at Once should win everything, everywhere, and all at once. Just like, okay, so the Oscars this week is going to just be, we're going to save you guys some time. Everything Everywhere All at Once, everything you've been nominated for, you win. All right, so we got all that out of the way. Cool. All right, now the movies that didn't get named, okay, these are those winners. Just everything everywhere all at once. Just give it to them. I don't care. I don't care about any other movie. Like Avatar 2, no, you're not going to win the fucking Best Picture. I'm sorry. It's fine. It's fine, but it's fine, but it's not freaking Best Picture. Yeah, what are the other nominations? Who cares? Doesn't matter. Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's all. Just give it to them. Just hand it to them. Daniel Kwan, Daniel Scheinberg, get up here. Boom, boom. Okay, we're done. See you next year. I do love that movie. I remember watching it with my friends, and you notice it. The one problem it has, and it's not, the big problem it has, it is too long. I will admit it is too long. It is probably 30 minutes too long. But it's one of those things where I don't know where I would cut it, because I love where it goes. But if you had to just tie me down and like cut, I would try to find a way to cut out. There's in very many ways, Everything Everywhere All at Once is sort of a video game movie, because it's obviously informed by people that grew up with video games. So there's a sequence of boss battles, right? And it happens throughout the movie. And I would try to figure out a way to find certain boss battles early on that you could kind of cut down and remove. Maybe a section of the movie. But so much of it is, it is a very tight and complicated mess that if I were to remove one string, I don't know if I would destroy another string. So you'd be very, very careful with that movie. But it's not my job to cut it. My job is just to enjoy it. And I freaking enjoy the crap out of that movie. Absolutely amazed by it. The algorithms of YouTube and Instagram always lead me dead end. After some time, only show me things that don't interest me. Fascinating point. I have similar experiences, I guess. You just keep going down that rabbit hole. Maybe that's also why AI is never going to take over yet. Human minds seek out a kind of novelty that AI can't predict and can't do well. So, look at smug tech evangelists choking on that. Made me glee. That's the other thing I'm not a tech evangelist. I love it when they choke on it. Had a couple friends that worked on Game of Thrones on early episodes, and he said they were amazed by desire for quality by the management. I know. Well, quality by the management is always a wonderful thing until it's not there. It's usually what usually happens, right? Is the management always comes in recognizing that quality is number one importance, right? Quality matters. Quality is, and that's any business too, right? You can go to an ice cream store, you can go to a restaurant. Our goal here is quality. We want to deliver the best customer service, best everything, right? But then they have a couple lean years, and oh man, they realize, we cannot survive these lean years. People can't get paid. We're facing layoffs if we continue to maintain our quality. If we don't introduce some sort of cost cutting measures, right? We have to do something. Now we can try to cut our costs in a way that doesn't affect quality. That's the first thing they try to do. They always try to cut costs, right, to not affect quality. But that doesn't always exist, right? So you got to start cutting things that maybe you think, well, that doesn't affect quality that much, right? It doesn't, the customer loves our service, but if we don't give them a free lollipop with every rental, then that won't be a big deal, right? That'll save us a few $100s, but the customer won't get that lollipop they get in their rental. Okay, we'll cut that cost. And it keeps going because another lean year comes by. Oh no, now we got to start cutting more and more and more. And that's how you get down to nothing. So what's the update? I talked about it earlier. My mom's in a place right now, and things are trying to get back to normal, and I'm trying to get back to doing stuff. If you guys have films that you want me to review, and I'm talking about short, if it's you have a short scene or something, like I can review like up to 5 minute scene. I will be doing new videos, and I won't do those on live stream. I'll do them in a contained video format. That's my goal, I think. I want to do that. So that's one of the things I wanted to announce. But yeah, that's what it is. Did I watch Last of Us? I am not watching Last of Us. I'll tell you why. Because I'm burned out on zombies. I just don't have any desire for zombies. It's just the genre I'm sick of. Back in MySpace days, it was like the two video topics, how old, right? MySpace. We're talking about 2008-ish, right? Mid-2000s, 2008, 2009. I wrote MySpace. I had the highest viewed post on MySpace. Gospel John. You can look it up if it still exists. I don't know. I've been banned from MySpace since, but basically, I said, "What's with all these zombie movies and skateboarding videos?" I was sick of zombie movies in 2008, and this is about when what's that show came out, The Living Dead or whatever the hell that show is, because it feels to me like the zombie genre is a lot of manufactured crises. They're life and death crises that always illuminate some fact about reality, right? There's every zombie movie always has like the same sort of gut-wrenching, harrowing, like crucial decisions that must be life and death decisions that must be made. It's a trope of that genre, right? It's not a trope of like vampire movies. It's not a trope of any other kind of horror genre. But zombie movies are always about, oh, we got to let him go. He's got to sacrifice himself. He got bitten, so he's trying to hide it from everyone. It's always the same thing. And I did play a few levels of Last of Us, and I was like, yeah, it's just more of the same. So that's why I'm not watching it. I mean, sure, it's good, but my life right now, I don't want to watch that. When you hear we need to do more with less, run away. Yeah. Are CRTs really 60p? Yes, but CRT, like if you're talking about television, it's 60i. If you're talking about computer monitors, they can be 60 or 75 or even 90. CRT computer monitors aren't locked to 60 necessarily. So yeah, the CRTs, but really a CRT 60i is essentially the look and feel of 60p. I have a video on that. I proved it by shooting it camera. The Simpsons' golden age have overworked, constantly burnt out writers. When showrunners relaxed the conditions so that his writers can have a life, the golden age ended. Oh, interesting. When showrunners relax the conditions. Yeah. Or, but that could also be one of those correlation causation kind of things. Because it could have been that the writers were the burned out writers were in their prime, or when the subject matter was in its prime. And that, after a certain time period, like the real experiment is if you took the Simpsons writers and you was like, okay, no more easy life for all of you. It's 12-hour days. You have to be in the office 6 days a week from now on. Would you return to the golden era of Simpsons? I don't think you would. Right? I think you would also. You'd get probably even worse content. Make sure you write it off at the end of the year. I don't know. Can I write it off? Because that would literally just mean I don't have to pay taxes at all for the rest of my life. Because that place is expensive. Although it's technically I'm not paying for it. It's my mom's money's paying for it. So I'll have to figure it out. I mean, it's all in the trust. I prefer Chinese vampires and zombies. I have not heard about Chinese vampire zombies. Invincible, hopping, blood-sucking government officials are much scarier. I get you. There you go. Dropping it down on the CCP, Winnie the Pooh, and communism too. I don't know how to know. I got zombied out as well, but movies like Zombieland. Well, Zombieland is sort of a parody too. Like, we talk about the horror cycles. Like horror always goes in cycles. First, there's a very good scary movie. And then, there's a sequel that's kind of good, and then it gets progressively campier and campier, where then it reverts down to basically now it's a parody, and so you're making fun of the genre, and then it dies off for a little bit, and then somebody comes around and makes another scary movie that's really good, and everyone loves it, and then it gets sequeled, and it gets parodied, and it gets kind of ridiculous, and then parodied, and then somebody comes around and makes another, so it's always a cycle with horror especially. There's always a cycle. The example was Vampire Dracula was the first, was scary, then Dracula's son, Dracula and Dracula's bride, then Son of Dracula, then it's Abbott and Costello meet Dracula, right? Because it just goes all the way down. Have I watched Puss in Boots 2? No, I haven't. I guess I should need to see that. Do I miss work with analog video for any reason? Absolutely freaking not. I hate analog video. There's not a damn thing about analog video that I miss. Although I never technically worked with analog video. I mean, well, to take that back. No, but I always digitized it. So the last professional bit of analog I worked with, is called Beta SP. And Beta SP was actually, Beta SP was a pretty high quality format. In fact, if you wanted to do standard definition video, Beta SP is still the preferred, film festivals at one point were still taking Beta SP for their projections, because the quality is the best you can get. Beta SP for analog, non-digital video. Then it became digital. Digi Beta was a step above. Was a digital version of Beta SP. Like Beta SP, if you think VHS is nothing. VHS is crap compared to Beta SP. Beta SP was the thing, right? So Beta SP, but then with Beta SP, I would always digitize that. So I would take that and I would convert that to digital. Only in my very, very early days as an intern did I ever have to do what they call linear editing. And that was really just to insert what they call tags, slates at the beginning of the video. So I would go in there and type up okay, client is, Mamma Mia's Pizzeria. Date is, that would have been July 3rd, 2003. The audio, stereo, and so forth. And I would insert that, and I would run that through the machine, the character generator, and I would insert that over a 5-second period of tape. Anyhow, so that was the only thing I ever did strictly analog. Everything I did was digitized, everything. So, but I don't miss analog for the life of me. Not a damn thing. They made a movie out of the Wheeler Walker Jr. song. Not sure what that is. ER bill inflation is either vampirism or cannibalism. That's the other thing. Okay, so like I know my mom's she was on the hospice, and if you're familiar with hospice in America, it's bizarre. So they can put you on hospice, which is technically they assume it's an assumption that you're going to probably you're suffering from an illness that's a terminal illness, and they don't expect you to get better. So the goal of hospice is not to get you better, but to make sure you're comfortable and you have a nice transition out of life, right? That's the purpose, the idea of hospice. So the way the Medicare works is Medicare will cover hospice for like 6 months for somebody. So these companies will put you on hospice, and they'll take care of you. And for you, it's like, oh, it's a great program, because then it gets then you get the nurses will come to your house, and the doctors will come to your house. You don't have to drive your parents, whatever. They're not going to get better. So they'll come to you and they'll try to take care of you, right? But it is a total money-making scam in a sense, because these companies, what they'll do is they'll look at, oh, you're hospice. You know what? You're going to need an oxygen machine. And you're like, why? Her oxygen is fine. There's no, she's going to need it. She's going to need it. So they'll bill Medicare the cost of the oxygen machines, even though you don't need it. Well, you're going to need it eventually. It's like, okay, I get it. Okay, I need it. But you're going to bill me now. Every little medication, they're going to bill. I don't need I got a whole bunch of Tylenol. I don't need any Tylenol. I've got a bunch I bought at Costco. Oh, no. The next ding dong, here's a 100 box of Tylenol. So they can bill Medicare. Everything's bill Medicare. It's just, they're just pushing that button for that free government money, pushing it, so whatever they do. I need some like toilet supplies. I need some like the briefs. Okay, here's like 100 like months worth of briefs. Well, that's my friend Joseph. I'll call him back. So they just keep hitting you with more and more and more stuff. So, let's see what else. Yeah, did you hear this news about Mindhunter though? Mindhunter. We're talking about Mindhunter. I'm talking about the TV show. The TV show Mindhunter. That got canceled. Or not get canceled, but the Fincher said there's no more seasons of it. So the writing was on the wall in that respects, So on stream. Anyhow, I'm just sending my friend a message that was trying to call me. Yeah. Al Quanda remembers Beta SP Digibeta. Barely missed you, Matic. Yeah. I came in right at the end of Beta SP. I still have a Beta SP machine. I think it's in storage. Shoot, you remind me. I need to send them my insurance information. So. Puss in Boots is a Wheeler Walker stream song. Check it out on the stream. Cool. Silence of the Lambs, the greatest American horror film in my opinion, but it tends not to be classified as one of the other Hannibal films and series are meh. Yeah. The is also one of the, wasn't it the first horror film to win an Oscar too, right? Did it win? Didn't it win an Oscar? I think it did. Yeah. Anyhow. All right. Well, how long have I been on here for? 45 minutes. Let's go to an hour. Yo, Ron Cast is up. Ron Cast is here. Everyone say hi. He's Joe. He'll be moderating with a iron fist. So, Mindhunter. Yeah, right. Mindhunter is the one that went away. Manhunter was the 80s movie that the first appearance of Dr. Lecter, right? Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Anything else you guys want to chat about, hang out? Puss in Boots does not have too great of a story, but it's brilliantly executed. Big Jack Horner is a perfect description of Disney, if I had a brain. Oh. All right, now I got to check out Puss in Boots. Like, I'm thinking, like, I'm paying like $24 a month for my theater privileges. I can just go to the theater whenever I want. So the thing with Ed, I now I'm part of the Regal thing because I got rid of AMC because AMC started bugging me in the way that they would control how many movies you could see, and like you couldn't go at certain times and all that. But the thing I don't like about Regal though is I pay $24 a month to just see any movie I want. It's like unlimited, totally unlimited, right? But the problem is if I wanted to schedule a movie, I have to pay a 50 cents convenience fee. It's like, why am I doing that? I don't want to pay 50 cents. I'm already paying $24. I don't even pay 50 cents every time I want to book a ticket. So in order to avoid that, you have to go to the theater and then get your ticket at that theater, and then it's free. And the movies I go to see, I'll go see, if I go see Puss in Boots, it's not like it's going to be like, it's not going to be like a super crowded theater. So the Puss in Boots music video is 1,000 times better. And there's certain sites that you go online, if you type in Puss in Boots, you get a totally not a kid's movie. Definitely not a kid's movie. It's another kind of Puss in Boots if you know what I'm talking about. Oh, we're not going to go there. It's more like Boots in... Okay, never mind. I'm not going to say it. Did you create your own logo? The logo was created by my former partner. But, I mean, I can make logos. I've done them before. But this logo was made by my former partner, who's since passed away. Other animations focus on sexual identities. Puss in Boots focuses on death. Love it. Just like the Coco. Coco's all about death. Nothing but death. SVHS was horrible. I totally agree. Anything VHS, like SVHS was at least the best that VHS could muster was SVHS. And that was barely anything at all. Make sure you see Puss in Boots in supersized IMAX 3D in 260 frames per second. Absolutely. The fight scene is American animation catching up to Asian. Oh, okay, from Puss in Boots. Have I seen Tokyo Vice? No, I have not. It's wrong with there you go. Do I have any CRTs? Yes, I have one CRT left in my studio somewhere. But at home, I used to have a bunch at home. I got rid of them all because I just couldn't take it anymore. I had an HD. I ended up taking it to the recycling center, and they're like looking at me like, "Dude, why are you recycling this?" Like, I don't want it. It's too big. And I literally am so stressed out. Like, I can't handle having this humongous HD TV in my and it weighed like 80 pounds. It was so heavy. And I took it to them. Like, it's all yours. Have it. Don't sell it. I don't care what you do with it. I'm sure they got like $200 out of it, but it's like I didn't have at that point in my life. I didn't have time I don't have the time or the conviction to try to sell that TV. Like, that was insane. But yeah, I don't have any CRT. Last night I ended up watching Linus's video about CRT gaming, and he had OLED and CRT. And I still if I was a big fan of those Street Fighter games, maybe I would keep the CRT for that, but I suck at those games, so. Do you like Lynch's Lost Highway? I watched it years ago and thought it was frustrating, but watched it recently and think it's incredible. Probably his best sounding and visually. I agree. I think Lost Highway, it's not my favorite one. My favorite still was Mulholland Drive. Like, I just love Mulholland Drive. Partly because I like the women in Mulholland Drive. I think they're amazing looking women, and I like the story of Mulholland Drive. But Lost Highway is one of those movies that I've only seen once, and when I watched it, I was like, "Whoa, man, this is pretty nuts." I don't even remember much of that movie at all, except for that one, the creepy guy, Robert, what's his name, that shot his wife. Much later, Robert Blinch, I don't know his name. Chat will tell me. Who's the creepy guy in Lost Highway? The guy that has his slick back hair and the weird eyes. Anyhow, he's on murder. I think he found guilty of murdering his wife. Yeah, so not that far off. All right, Bullet Signs, we'll see you later. Best DK, keep it cheap up. Thank you so much, man. I'm going to get off pretty soon here and go get some lunch myself. See what the Wrongcast was saying. Yeah, Wrongcast has my NES and Super NES. You only have a PS4 now. Yep. Yeah, I was thinking about getting a PS5, but I'm like, I'm not going to do anything with it. The only reason why we get a PS5 is so I can watch HD UHD Blu-ray movies. That's the only reason I would get one. So, why do you think people were triggered by your video on NTSC feeling like 60i on CRTs? I don't know why people were getting. Oh, you're talking about that video on my CRT? Because literally people were saying that 60i was not 60p. Like they didn't realize that 60i is 60 frames a second. That's what triggered me about it. It was like, you guys don't realize that 60i is 60 frames a second, guys. That's why we're familiar with the look. They're like, oh, 60i is not 60 frames a second. It's really 30. No, it's not 30 frames a second. It's 60. Like, why do they feel it? Because the reason why they were triggered is because also two things. First of all, they've never actually worked with CRT televisions. They never worked with 60i footage, so they don't know what it looks like. And then they go online and they look up really quick what's the frame rate of 60i, and the frame rate is 30p. People say, well, it's 30 frames a second. Like, no, it's not. I understand why people say it's 30 frames a second, because each frame consists of two fields. And when you edit 60i footage, you could never say, I want to make a cut, like cut the first field, but don't cut the second field. Like, you always have to like cut two fields. You always have to cut the frame. So it's always 30 frames a second. But it's not 30 frames a second. Have I played Hogwarts Legacy? My friend has, Roncast has. I'm just not into that, into those kind of games. I'm more into simulated games, simulators. Like, I've been getting, I know I'm going to get the Kerbal Space Program on Friday. I don't care. Early access, I don't care. I just need to freaking blow up some stuff. But I've been going back and playing Kerbal Space Program 1 a lot. Played that last night. I got my satellite to Eve. Although I do use the mech jeb, which is like automated, but it still counts. I lived in American suburban hell on East Coast. Just wanted to get a Regal Cinema. Just went to the Regal Cinema on Sunday. I don't like the selection. Where can I find foreign release or artistic films? I know. I live here, and there's one theater that will show. It's called. I don't know what it's called. I forget what it's called. The Reading. There's another cinema nearby. That's another branch, and then there's another one called Cinemark. That's sort of, I don't know. They're trying to market themselves. Foreign films. I've completely do not expect to see foreign films anywhere except for either online streaming or in LA or something like that. LA or New York City. I don't think you're going to find any foreign films outside of those kind of markets that have like an art house theater kind of thing. So, yeah, Jeremy Langford says, exactly. Thanks for that video. That's the first one that makes me understand why interlaced footage looks bad on LCDs and not CRTs. Exactly. Yeah, Joe's been playing a lot of that Hogwarts, so he says really reminds him of Shadows of Mordor and Batman Arkham Origins. Yeah, Rise and Shot says Kerbal Space Program for the win. Awesome. Yeah, I love that game. Although I'm not very good at I just was playing through the career mode again, and getting frustrated that I don't have enough science to get the big rockets yet. I got the science for the big rockets. I need the science for the more parts so I can build up like a really crazy infrastructure and all that. I've been playing with the scatter, new parallax scatter, which adds a bunch of crap on the grounds. Makes it really cool looking. So, anyhow. All right. Well, time is it here? 59. Oh, I'm not for an hour. Okay, so we'll make this kind of a short stream today. We'll be back on the weekend and hang out some more. Just wanted to be a little update on what was going on. And yeah, so again, remind you, and I'll put it out there on YouTube and I'll put it on Twitter. I am looking to do new reviews. So if you have a scene from a movie that you worked on, a short film, or or even a commercial, or a homework project, or something you want me to look at, or YouTube video, or how-to video, whatever it is, drop me an email through Filmmaker IQ site, and I will take a look at it, and I'll give you critiques, and it'll all be positive. Oh, it's a positive critique experience. It'll be good, and I'll make a little video for it. So I'll put that back out there. Just hit up a couple of your comments at the end here. Did they demolish the 6th Street Bridge? I don't know what that is. Do you like Satoshi Kon's work? I don't know who Satoshi Kon is. Sorry. I'm near a major city, but it's comprised mostly of suburbs, and that's all I see are chain stores. Yeah. I mean, streaming is going to kill the art house, I think. The first one on the chopping block is the art house movies. Unless we can maintain like a really, really good patronage, it's just hard to get people out to see a movie that they're not familiar with. So, all right, on that sad note, let's wrap it up for today. And we'll be back on the weekend. And we'll do our regular live, like Sunday or Saturday stream. One of the days. I'll figure it out. I'll get that. We'll get that. We'll get that more. Get that more solidified in the future. All right, guys. We shall see you. We'll see you later. All right. Taking care. Fading out. See you at filmmakeriq.com. See you later. I'm going to get some lunch here. I'm getting hungry. Bye-bye.